When we talk about giving, about donating to causes we believe in, what's the one thing that really holds it all together? It's not just about good intentions, it's all about trust. So today, we're going to dig into that crucial link between a nonprofit's financial transparency and our confidence as donors.
I mean, really think about that for a second. Every time you give, whether you realize it or not, this is the big question hanging in the air. You need to know that your money is actually doing the good you want it to do.
And that's what it all comes down to. Trust is basically the currency of the entire nonprofit world. But here's the catch. When donors feel like they're in the dark, that trust can be super fragile. It's so easy to break and way, way harder to earn back.
And that leads us to a real challenge we're seeing in the sector today, kind of a crisis of confidence. Having good intentions is awesome. It's the starting point. But these days, donors want to see the proof. And when that proof is missing, skepticism starts to creep in.
So what's the magic number? Well, most donors have a pretty clear benchmark in mind. They expect at least 70 cents of every single dollar they give to go straight to the programs, the actual work, not just overhead. Anything less than that can feel like a huge red flag.
There's actually a term for the root of this problem. It's called information asymmetry. It's basically that gap between what the charity knows about where the money is going and what you, the donor, know. The wider that gap gets, the more trust starts to shrink. It's like a black box, and nobody wants to throw their money into a black box.
And listen, this isn't just some abstract theory. It has real-world consequences. Just look at the case of Compassion International. After a huge shutdown in India, the organization made a move to reclassify itself, which let them avoid filing public financial reports. Those are called Form 990s. And the result? The big watchdog groups that donors rely on, like Charity Navigator, basically had to throw up their hands and remove their ratings. Why? A total lack of accountability data. This whole thing creates what researchers call a moral disillusionment effect. It's a fascinating psychological quirk. See, we hold charities to a much higher ethical standard than, say, a regular company. So when they let us down, our trust doesn't just dip, it absolutely plummets. It crumbles way faster and harder. Okay, but it's not all doom and gloom. Far from it, because there's a really powerful solution here. There is a clear path back to confidence, and it's built on clear, consistent, and totally honest reporting. Just how important is it? Well, the numbers really say it all. A massive 93% of donors say that transparency is absolutely essential for them to keep giving. It's not just a nice little bonus anymore, it's a must-have. And you can see the payoff right here. Organizations that really lean into transparency and clear reporting see a direct, measurable 12% bump in donor trust. That's a huge deal. It shows that being open directly strengthens the relationship with the people who support you.
So, theory is one thing, but what does this look like out in the wild? Let's move from the what to the how and check out an organization that is absolutely nailing this. We're going to take a look at Children International. They are a fantastic model for how to build and keep donor trust through a serious, deep commitment to accountability.
First off, they put their money right where their mission is. A full 80% of their spending goes directly into their programs. Remember that 70% benchmark we talked about? Yeah, they're not just meeting it, they're soaring right past it.
And it's not just them saying it, the experts agree. They've earned a perfect accountability score from Charity Navigator and the top-tier Platinum Seal from Candid. But they go beyond the paperwork. They do frequent on-the-ground field visits to verify that their work is having a real impact, to see it with their own eyes.
What really makes their whole approach work is that it's like two sides of the same coin. You've got financial audits, which answer the what. Are we spending the money correctly and by the rules? But then they also do performance audits, which answer the much more important so what question. Is this money actually changing lives? You absolutely need both to get the full picture.
So Children International is a fantastic example, right? But how can any nonprofit, big or small, build that same level of trust? Well, the good news is there's a pretty clear blueprint they can follow. Okay, now these 3 steps might look simple up on the screen, but let's be real. Putting them into practice can be a really heavy lift, especially for smaller organizations that don't have a ton of resources. But the payoff is just immeasurable. It starts by tracking every single dollar, from the second it's given to the impact it makes. Then you create financials that tell a story. And finally, you share those results and the human stories behind them in a way that anyone can understand and connect with.
Now, we've talked a lot about what nonprofits can do, but this isn't a one-way street. As donors, we have a huge role to play in this whole equation. Being an informed donor, that's our superpower.
I love this quote from Esther Saoyan Lee because it just hits the nail on the head. Fundraising does not begin or end with the ask. It begins and ends with trust. The simple act of giving money isn't the point. The relationship, the one that's built on a solid foundation of trust, that's everything.
So I want to leave you with this question to think about. Now that you know all this, the next time you decide to support a cause you love, what are you going to look for? What signs of real transparency and accountability will you be searching for? Because your choices are choices. They help shape a better, more trustworthy, and more effective nonprofit world for all of us.